Hi Tim, how are you?
Doing well, Matthew. My apologies that I can't be with you in person. Our original plan, as you know, but we all know that COVID has gotten in the way.
It certainly has. I cannot believe it's been 12 months since we're actually sitting side by side in meetings together.
Yeah, the scary thing is my last business trip was my trip to Australia, so it has been quite some time. It's been a long year for all of us.
Yeah, it certainly has. Well, we look forward to welcoming you back in due course.
Well, we hope that happens soon.
So, looking back on early 2020, just the time we were talking about, what were your initial thoughts and reactions to what was unfolding in relation to COVID-19?
Oh, Matthew, sometimes you just don't want to look back on it, but if you insist, I think you'd say the same thing. First and foremost, like our crew, they're impressive. They focused 100% on helping our clients navigate this crisis. With the markets reeling and economy shut down to contain the virus, investors were understandably worried, almost on borderline panic, some of them. But Matthew, you know our message, right? It's clear, time-tested, and some of our clients say predictable. It's stay the course. Don't let short-term volatility disrupt your long-term portfolio. You're diversified for a reason. Now, that leads me to my favorite statistic of 2020. And Matthew, you know where I'm going with this one. 99.6% of Vanguard investors held firm throughout the market drop, either sticking with their asset allocation or rebalancing into equities. Only 0.4% of Vanguard investors panicked and moved to cash. Matthew, you know what the industry average was there?
Much higher.
20%. 20% actually panicked. So seeing only 0.4%, well, that's testament to that Vanguard message of stay the course. And those who stuck with their plans, they were rewarded. Today, Vanguard investors are $935 billion wealthier than when they started 2020. Now, again, that is testament to that stay the course message. It works. Now, while our employees were taking care of our clients, Matthew, leaders like you zeroed in on the health and safety of our crew. We were able to move 98% of our employees home in a matter of days, whether they're here in Malvern, Pennsylvania in the US, or in Melbourne, Australia, or out in Arizona or in London. And we put in rigorous protocols to keep those who remained on site safe. Matthew, a famous quote by Louis Pasteur, and I know you're very well read, so you'll probably correct me if I get this wrong, but I think he said, "Fortune rewards the prepared." Thanks to our virtual business model, collaborative technologies, and detailed contingency planning, our operations never missed a beat. Our investment teams could manage the funds without disruption. Our crew could serve clients from their homes, and we could push forward with strategic priorities like developing a superannuation offer. Beyond crew and clients, our investment teams were laser focused on the health of the markets and driving returns for our clients. We had the chance to help the markets in general. Our leadership team collaborated with regulators to reestablish liquidity in markets. Our active managers, well, they capitalized on their conservative positions going into the crisis. Our low-cost structure means we don't need to take risk when the reward is low. For instance, our active fixed income PMs had plenty of dry powder going into 2020. While most competitors panicked in March, our portfolio managers found great value and drove outperformance of 100 to 1,000 basis points. Now, it's fair to say that our clients, Matthew, in business were incredibly successful last year, but I don't think you or I really want to repeat 2020.
Absolutely not. It is nice, though, Tim, that at times of crisis, the sage and salient messages that have stood us the test of time work out both for crew and client benefit.
And Matthew, we've seen a few of these crises. I guess the fortunate part is we know what to do. The unfortunate part is we've had them. Whether it's the global financial crisis, the tech wreck of 2000, we've run into a lot of these before. And even that wisdom, when you see markets run up now, stays true. Don't get carried away with some of the hysteria in the markets.
Now, we've just reflected on the last 12 months, so I'd love for you to share some of the common themes and insights that emerged from discussions with other CEOs and how they were responding to the crisis.
You bet. And Matthew, I got a long list of them. I won't go through all of them. I'll just mention my top two. And this one for advisors know this one. They do it with portfolios for their clients, but you've got to proactively manage risk, whether you're managing someone's portfolio or a business. So thinking about business risks, well, some risks are obvious and ever-present, like cyber. Others are an amorphous possibility until they strike suddenly. Now, COVID-19 was just that. Other risks grow steadily until they undermine economies and businesses alike. Think climate change. All are material risks, and as business leaders, we must address each, not just the obvious and ever-present ones. Now, Matthew, you know leading companies of today, well, look at them, they have resilient business models that adapted to the pandemic. They have recognized the changing preferences of consumers and the direction of legislation around climate change. And they remain humble and diligent about the threats to personal data. So I'll give you my second observation. And that's much more about the Zoom economy that we live in. It's here to stay. Now, in the past year, Matthew, I'm sure you did everything virtually, from shopping to going to retirement parties to meeting with family. Now, 2020, that was the year the world embraced remote interactions. Now, I think most of us will welcome a time when we can celebrate things like birthdays and graduations in person again. We were just talking about being able to meet with clients again in person. There are plenty of activities where this new approach, this virtual approach, actually might be the more convenient and effective solution, where we might pick that over face-to-face. Now, for advisors, Matthew, what percent of clients do you think found virtual interactions as good as is better than face-to-face in the past year? It may surprise you.
More than 60%?
Yeah, it's about 90%. 90% of people preferred that face-to-face interaction. 30% don't want to go back. Now, the advisors themselves, and we know this just from our own crew members here, 90% will want to leverage some form of work from home. So it's fair to say we're not going back to the way we worked in 2019 or the way we interacted with each other in 2019. Now, that's not to say that investors, they won't want to see an advisor face-to-face again and be in person again, but it's probably going to become more the exception. The leading businesses will scale their operations and improve their service through virtual. So I think if you think about that second theme, it's really, you've got to be ready to embrace virtual technology.
The combination of the two is pretty powerful. Now, Tim, there may be advisors sitting there and saying, yeah, well, that's all well and good for Vanguard or a big company. What about the struggles and the juggling act that an advisor does on a day-to-day basis, managing the multiple demands of their business? Any additional thoughts or advice you'd have for them?
Well, Matthew, it's really about how do you find time? And how can you be more efficient? And I would say embrace advice technology. This isn't a matter of beating robos, but rather streamlining your operations and driving more consistent, robust answers. Technology allows advisors to automate many rules-based activities such as portfolio management and rebalancing. It can simplify some more challenging financial planning tasks. And Matthew, I think this year you'll be talking to many advisors about retirement income builders, is that right?
We will indeed. Yeah, very excited about it.
And that's just another way we can help you model an income strategy for your clients, right? So you can do that for advisors' clients, model an income strategy. Now, if they don't have to build the technology themselves, they can use the technology from firms like Vanguard to make themselves more efficient, to give more robust answers. The other thing I'd say is embrace virtual, what we just talked about. we know from experience that you'll grow quality engagement, the number of quality engagements. You'll grow that and you'll drive your costs down. We've done it. All those advisors can do it too. And then the last bit I'd say here is embrace, every advisor should embrace their client's specific needs. Giving your clients peace of mind is twice as valuable as finding the top performing fund. If you want people to really promote your business, give them that peace of mind. Now, Matthew, you know this, we were founded 45 years ago, and from that date, we've been cultivating virtual relationships. I think we closed down our last walk-in office. We had 3 of them, and we closed the last one down 20 years ago. So we know what it takes to build trust and improve outcomes without meeting in person. So we'd be happy, I'm sure, Matthew, your team would be happy to share our insights to help advisors with this transition to virtual.
Absolutely. Yeah, and thanks for mentioning the Retirement Income Builder tool, because last Roadshow, this time last year, we talked about investing in a client offer team. So a team that will help the advisor with everything that you just mentioned. And we do that because advisors are incredibly important to our business and also to the broader ecosystem. So I guess on that point, Tim, Vanguard serves a number of different client types. Could you share with us why advisors are so important?
You bet. And for all the advisors out there, I'd tell you our mission is straightforward. It's to take a stand for all investors. Treat them fairly and give them the best chance for investment success. Now, our formula just has a few steps to it. Deliver strong fund performance, pair that with trusted advice, and wrap both in a world-class client experience. Now, this formula delivers whether working directly with clients or through like-minded advisors. Now, with advisors, just a little bit different. We provide the same top-notch funds, and we help you provide that great service and that advice by suggesting best practices to drive your client's success. For instance, many advisors now follow our Advisors Alpha framework, Matthew, and we know that can add about 3% net returns for advisors' clients. In the US, several advisors are using our advice technology for more robust financial planning, something I hope happens in Australia soon. What we care about is that an advisor's clients win, that our investors win. They're one and the same. We're completely aligned. Now, this has been a very successful model for us. In the US, we launched our financial advisor business in 2002. Since then, it's grown into our largest business with $2 trillion in assets under management. Now, we hope the partnerships we've forged with advisors in Australia have that similar promise.
It's great. Yeah, we definitely have strong partnerships with advisors in Australia, so looking forward to continuing that going forward.
You bet.
Now, if we just focus back, I guess, for a second on Vanguard. So how do we best leverage technology to achieve our goals?
Well, fortunately, our scale gives us the ability to invest in the technology, and this year we're investing $1 billion to drive continual improvement in our client experience. So we'll be reshaping and simplifying online and mobile experiences, integrating behavioral nudges to improve investors' outcomes, and building state-of-the-art advice technology. So let me talk a bit about that advice technology, because advisors might be able to use that technology in the future. So our enterprise advice team, they build the engines of our advice capabilities, and they build them for use across the globe. We take a modular approach so that we can combine capabilities in different ways to serve the needs of clients, almost like building with Lego bricks. For instance, we offer standalone modules for assessing risk tolerance, managing to multiple financial goals, and managing retirement income. We've built about 60 of these advice modules so far, and we keep building. All of them can be reused globally. They also integrate easily with most advisors' platforms. Our hope is to eventually offer this, as I said, to advisors in different countries, and especially in Australia. So we hope, Matthew, that your clients can use many of these modules.
It's great. Very exciting. And Tim, how are you feeling about the future?
Matthew, I think it would be easy for people to look at the negative and see how we just got knocked back by a pandemic. But I can't help but to be positive. I look at healthcare, the fact that we understand disease at the genetic level, and they were able to roll out vaccines in less than a year across the globe. That is so impressive. What does that mean for medicine in the future? And more importantly, we came together as a global society to manage to fight a common risk, a common threat. Imagine if we can do the same with climate change.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be an imperative, right?
Oh, for sure. And I think you'll see a lot of society hopefully move to that after the pandemic. I hope we don't fade afterwards.
Completely agree. Now, finally, I know you seek advice from many different people. What's the best advice you've received lately?
Now, Matthew, I hope you'll forgive me, but I'm not going to give you advice I received recently, but it's advice that I've been leaning on a lot. It's tune out the noise, focus on the facts in front of you, and think clearly about the path forward. Now, that advice is actually 30 years old. As we've talked about before, my father was a heart surgeon, and after watching him in the OR one day, and that was quite an experience, I asked him how he dealt with the pressure of literally holding someone's life in his hands. And his advice was just that, to tune out the noise, focus on the facts in front of you, and think clearly about the path forward. Now, that advice has served me well throughout the crisis, and it remains relevant as we chart a course forward for our 30 million investors. Tune out that noise all around us and the hysteria you can have in the markets, and figure out what is the best path forward for Vanguard and for our clients.
Great advice. It almost sounds like Jack Bogle said it.
Well, you know what? They were of the same generation, two people who accomplished, in my eyes, tremendous things. And I was lucky to be mentored by both of them.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Tim, for your time today. I know that our advisors love hearing your insights and sharing your experiences. So thanks very much for the time.
Well, Matthew, I look forward to being able to do it in person next time. So hopefully that day comes sooner rather than later.
We look forward to welcoming you back when borders open.
You bet.
Thanks, Tim. Take care.
Thanks.